main things that I see among other successful entrepreneurs is that they have this really wonderful innate sense of confidence. And they wholeheartedly, 100% believe in whatever it is that they're working on. It's wonderful to see because through that like self-love and self-exploration comes self-growth. And really that's the only way that we're going to be able to like grow in our businesses too, is by advancing and growing ourselves as individuals. So having that sense of self-confidence and just really believing that you have the capabilities to not only get the job done, but you also have the capabilities to seek out the information that you're going to need, right? Like not all of us know 100% of everything, and you don't know what you don't know, right?
You're an entrepreneur, and you make vital decisions that hopefully blossom into a business. You're the savvy, out-of-the-box risk taker who believes wholeheartedly in the process of innovation. Innovation that will change the world. This is CEO Chat with Gresham Harkless, and you're about to embark on a journey through the awesome world of business. Gresham is the epitome of drive and desire as he works to help support small businesses and entrepreneurship. And you're about to learn from this entrepreneur how you can improve your odds of success in the business world. Welcoming the host of CEO Chat, here's Gresham Harkless.
Hello. This is Gresham Harkless from CEO Chat, powered by CBNation.co and Blue 16 Media, your choice for all your website design, SEO, and digital marketing needs. And this was an awesome chat with Lisa Song Sutton. Lisa is a real estate investor and entrepreneur holding ownership interests in several companies in the real estate, tech, retail, and food and beverage industries, including Las Vegas's #1 alcohol-infused cupcake company, City Cupcakes, and also her newer venture, Ship Las Vegas. Lisa currently writes about entrepreneurship and business. Her work has been seen in Forbes, Inc. magazine, Fast Company, and other business publications. She is the youngest Asian American affiliate owner of a Christie's international real estate brokerage. Lisa also sits on the executive board for several companies, including Glow Inc., formerly BioGlow Tech, which has created the world's first light-emitting plant, and Youngry, an entrepreneurship media company. In addition to her professional careers, Lisa is actively involved in her community as former Miss Las Vegas 2013, Miss Nevada 2014, and serves on the executive board of the Asian Community Development Council. Lisa was named a 2017 Top 10 Social Entrepreneur to Watch by Inc. magazine and selected as a Las Vegas Hub Global Shaper by the World Economic Forum. Now, this was a special chat because a shorter version of this interview went live on our new I Am CEO podcast, and the full version is going live here on CEO Chat. So during the chat, we spoke about her background as a serial entrepreneur, her numerous ventures and involvements, and some of her best CEO hacks and CEO nuggets, and some of the things that have helped lead her to be so successful. So this was an awesome chat, and what I want you to do is sit back and enjoy this CEO Chat with Lisa Song Sutton. Hi, Lisa. Are you still there with me?
Hi, yes, I am.
Awesome. Well, I truly appreciate you taking some time out of your schedule to kind of speak with us, tell us a little bit about you and your CEO story and your background. The first thing that I wanted to do was just kind of ask you, could you introduce yourself to us, tell us a little bit about you, your background, and what led you to start all the different ventures that you have going on?
Absolutely. So I have a bit of an unconventional background. I started out in the legal world, and I pursued degrees in political science and in law. And so I didn't go, I guess a more traditional route of either just jumping right into business after high school or, studying entrepreneurship and business and marketing and all that stuff. I got a chance to really learn on the job. I modeled all during college and grad school. And so that was really the best hands-on way for me to learn about marketing and how to build a brand and represent a brand. And then fast forward, I moved to Las Vegas after graduation. I started working in a law firm and really enjoyed my job. I worked with really great, fantastic, smart people. And on a whim, one of my girlfriends and I, Danielle, who's my co-founder with City Cupcakes, She and I were chatting on the phone end of 2011. Hey, what have you been up to? And she told me she'd been making these alcohol cupcakes. And I was like, that is such a good idea. If I can find a way to bankroll this, would you be willing to move from Florida to Las Vegas? And she was like, I don't know. And then she moved and she took a leap of faith and moved. And we started the company in 2012. And it's just been a blessing ever since.
Awesome. Yeah, you can't see me, but I'm licking my chops right now thinking about the alcohol-infused cupcakes. But that sounds amazing. So did you find that it was easy or difficult to kind of transition from being an attorney to, having and starting these ventures?
I was really lucky to work in a great firm that did business litigation, commercial real estate, wills and trusts, and business bankruptcy. And during that time here in Nevada from 2010 through 2013, which is when I was with the firm, that was a time that those industries, those areas of the law were booming, specifically business litigation and business bankruptcy, because it was, ending up the recession. It was the back end of the recession. So it was a great place for me to basically build a do not do list, right? Because you had so many really smart clients walking through the door. And, when do you go to a law firm? It's because something's wrong, right? There's an issue that has to be fixed or addressed. And I discovered we had these really smart, capable people walking through the door. And I was just like, how did they get here? And, that's also when I realized business bankruptcy is a tool. It's a business tactic that's utilized as well. And, just going through that experience, being kind of on the other side of the table of learning from them was one of the best things I could have done for business.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. And it's funny, I don't feel like a lot of people talk a lot about that. But even though, you don't want to say that sometimes, but a lot of times you learn by seeing sometimes some of the mistakes that people make, so you can kind of avoid them and try to figure out exactly, what got them there. So you can kind of reverse engineer yourself so that, I don't want to take those exact same steps so I don't end up in the same place.
Exactly right. Mm-hmm.
Awesome. So I guess, could you tell us a little bit more about, City Cupcakes and any other ventures that you might have going on?
Sure. Well, certainly, with the cupcakes, like I said, we started in 2012, and it's just been such a blessing to see it grow and have people enjoy our product. We get a chance to be part of people's special occasions and events. So whether it's birthday parties, bachelorette parties, special events, weddings, anything in between, we get a chance to be part of that. And we just enjoy that so much. And then after we started City Cupcakes, I just kind of got bit by the bug and realized there's just so much business opportunity here in Nevada, here in Las Vegas. This is such a great place for business. We have no state income tax, no corporate tax. The state statutes are really strong and protective of business owners. And so it was just a no-brainer for me to go ahead and realize that I could partner up with other strong individuals and strong operational partners and start more companies.
Awesome. And did you find, so it wasn't something where you were like, okay, I want to start, 10 different companies. It was, you started out when you saw one opportunity, and then it just kind of, you leveraged that, and then you blossomed out to other different ventures.
Yes. And, so with the real estate, even, for example, that was just simply realizing that we would have some law clients that would have real estate needs, and we were just referring that business out. And then I realized, why do I have to refer it out? Maybe there's a way that I could take this on myself, but also partner up with people who are full-time realtors, full-time in the industry, and then we could build a business from there. And that's how that got started. The same thing with the swimwear company. I realized I had girls who I knew from the modeling and pageant world, and they were reaching out to me on swimsuit recommendations or different ideas that they had. And I realized, this is something that we can capitalize and build upon and create our own company with.
Awesome. You seem like you've done a really great job at that, of being able to kind of identify partnerships or people that you can both kind of have like a win-win situation, and you can both win and kind of build upon each other's probably strengths and weaknesses so that you guys can both reach success.
Yes, exactly. And that's really key. You want to surround yourself with people who have more experience in whatever respective business that you're going into, and also just have more knowledge than you.
Right. That makes perfect sense. So I know you have, different things that you work on, but could you, I guess, kind of maybe take us through like, an average way that you kind of help out your clients from maybe beginning to end? And it could be, the Sin City Cupcakes, or it might be the Ship Las Vegas that I know you're just launching as well, too.
Yes, we're so excited about Ship Las Vegas. It's a mailbox rental pack and ship store based here in Las Vegas. You can find us at shiplasvegas.com. And yeah, we literally just soft opened that this week. So it's been a whirlwind, but it's been so much fun.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
I guess what have been some of your biggest successes and some of your big wins as well too that you're most proud of?
I think just the fact that, like I said, even with City Cupcakes, luckily here, the feedback that we hear is that we've become a little bit of a household name and people associate us with their good time that they have in Vegas. So when they're traveling to Vegas, they're coming for some sort of occasion, right? It's someone's birthday party, bachelorette party, special event, wedding, even a spur of the moment trip. That's a reason that people are coming to Vegas. And we're just so lucky that we get to be part of their special occasion. So, for example, even this week, we're catering for the Derek Jeter Golf Tournament up at Shadow Creek, which is Steve Wynn's private golf course. They've been a client of ours for years. And prior to that, when it was Michael Jordan's tournament, that's how we got started with them. So it's just wonderful that people associate our brand with enjoying themselves and having a great time with friends and family.
Yeah. And then it seems like the perfect state and place to kind of do that too, to kind of launch something like that, where a lot of people go there, like you mentioned, where they're celebrating something or they're going there to kind of have a good time. And you're just kind of building upon that.
Yes, exactly right. Because they're already coming, right? So I always tell people too, if you're thinking about any sort of product or service that caters to tourists in any way, think about launching it in Las Vegas because this is your perfect test market, right? People are already coming here. It's not like we started City Cupcakes, in the middle of some Midwest town, right? Mm-hmm. We don't have to convince you to come to Vegas because you're already coming. All we have to do is get our product in front of you.
Right. And it's funny, a lot of, entrepreneurs and business owners don't think about things like that, but I'm on the other side. I'm in the Washington, D.C. area, but it's funny because you get a lot of certain tourists that come here for a very specific reason, which is usually a sightsee, see all the museums and things like that. But when you're building a business and you're building it around that aspect of, exactly why in the psychology of the people that are coming to where you're going, it can be a leg up as far as you being successful.
Absolutely. And I think it's important to really identify different ways that you can help share knowledge and experience that you've encountered and that you've had to help others too.
That makes perfect sense. Now, I know you mentioned, obviously, you've been very big on being able to identify people that have been, really great partners and people that you want to collaborate with. What have been, and who are some of the good partners that you're looking for? And what have been kind of some of the maybe characteristics or things that you look for to say, hey, that person would be a good partner? How do you got to go through that thought process?
I generally, one of the first things I look for, obviously, is the amount of knowledge and experience they have in whatever given industry that it is, because certainly it has to be more than me. And then I also look at industry and kind of city reputation as well. Is this someone who's respected within the community? Is this someone who is highly sought after to work together and collaborate with in the community? And then, certainly the most important thing, of course, is whether this is someone that you personally want to work with, right? Is this someone who you deem subjectively, obviously, as a good person, someone who, puts family first and is going to be a hard worker and is willing to bring that work ethic to the table and will be able to handle the types of stress that come in with owning and running a business, because anything can happen, right? And oftentimes you encounter crazy situations that you would just never predict. And so it's really important to know how the other person will react and handle distress.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, especially with how stressful, running a business can be, to kind of understand, how that person reacts to that certain stress. Because some people might not be able to take it, or they may not take it well, where others were able to kind of blossom and kind of, build upon that stress and thrive during the stressful situations.
Yes, exactly. It's just taking stock of, right, like, how do they handle stress? Are they someone who freezes and, then kind of like spirals down into like this like negative energy, like, oh, everything's going wrong, and then there's no action plan to fix it? For me, when I encounter difficult situations, of course, like, does it make me nervous? Does it give me anxiety? Of course, like all those things, it's all yes. But for me, I found that when I encounter a difficult situation, the first thing that my brain does is like kind of reverse engineer it, right? And you start looking at, okay, like, how did this happen and what can I do to fix it? And so you're immediately jumping into kind of like a resourceful mode and looking at, how can I fix this? How can I prevent this from happening again? What are steps and actions that I can do? Not so much waiting on others to fix it, right? What actions can you do right now today to make this situation better?
Right. And that makes sense. And do you find like, I find like that's definitely one of those, I guess, CEO or entrepreneurial type of traits where I guess, generally speaking, most, CEOs and entrepreneurs, because you deal with maybe so much stress that you're able to kind of say that, okay, well, I don't have time to really wallow in self-pity or cry over spilled milk, so to speak. I have to
Yep.
figure out how to solve this problem.
Correct. Exactly right.
It does. Okay. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Well, one of the big things that we try to do is we always kind of ask for like a CEO hack. So this might be a thing or a couple things that you might be using that kind of helps you be more efficient and better as a business owner. So this might be a book or an app or a bunch of different things that you do that you feel that make you more successful. So do you have some of those things that you kind of enlighten us about?
Absolutely. So there are two main things that I definitely would recommend. One is reading. Read, read, read. Read everything you can possibly get your hands on. There are a few books that I really enjoy. Tim Ferriss has two books out, one called Tribe of Mentors, and the other is Tools of Titans. And basically what he's done is he's pulled out of these thousands of interviews that he's conducted. He's pulled out just the nuggets, the great parts of those interviews and the teachable meat. And he compiled it all into these books. And that's what's nice is that each person that he's interviewed is just like 2 or 3 pages. It's short, succinct, and you can just jump right in and open it to a page and read 2 or 3 pages and just pull out so many great nuggets and great pieces of information. I also just like to make sure that I'm reading about whatever industry that I'm focused in on the moment. So for example, obviously just opening Ship Las Vegas. Prior to that, I had not owned a mailbox rental and pack and ship store. And so I wanted to learn everything I possibly could about that industry. And we're so lucky to live in this advanced technological time where we have so much information available to us, easily accessible, free information. And so just read as much as possible is the first thing. And the second thing is make sure that you carve out time for yourself. So whatever that means for you, whether that's going to the gym, whether that's cooking, whether that's spending time with family, find some way to make sure that you get your time in every day. So for me, I made the investment to purchase a baby grand piano, and I have that in my home. And I'm so happy that I did that because I get a chance to play the piano whenever I want. And for me, that's an outlet. Music has always been an outlet for me. I grew up playing. And so having that in my home, having that accessible to me is something that helps me not only be able to decompress or handle stress, but it's also just something that just lifts my mood up. And it's something that I just do for me, for my own time.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. Those are great kind of insights because obviously Tim Ferriss is always providing loads of great information himself, but he always seems to always connect with those people that have even more information, and he's able to kind of pull those things from them and kind of distill it down so that you're able to kind of get it in like those bite-sized pieces that you mentioned. And of course, making sure to keep your cup full. I try to tell myself that all the time because especially, being an entrepreneur, business owner, you can run around and run around and run around and you always forget that you have to kind of keep your cup full. So it's awesome that you kind of took the steps to do that.
Absolutely.
Now, another thing that we kind of asked is kind of like a CEO kind of golden nugget, so to speak. And I know that you've, anybody that might be following you on social media might see that you're always providing kind of tips and information on how to be like a better entrepreneur and business owner. So I guess, could you give us maybe, 3 or 4 maybe things that you have seen that you feel like are your kind of keys to be successful?
Oh, wow. One of the main things that I see among other successful entrepreneurs is that they have this really wonderful innate sense of confidence, and they wholeheartedly 100% believe in whatever it is that they're working on. It's wonderful to see because through that like self-love and self-exploration comes self-growth. And really that's the only way that we're going to be able to like grow in our businesses too, is by advancing and growing ourselves as individuals. So having that sense of self-confidence and just really believing that you have the capabilities to not only get the job done, but you also have the capabilities to seek out the information that you're going to need, right? Like not all of us know 100% of everything, and you don't know what you don't know, right? So we all possess the ability to seek out information and learn about what it is that we don't know. And so I think having that confidence and knowing that about yourself is the most important thing you can have.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely would agree with that. It makes sense, especially because, you're always trying to, if you're kind of like a voracious, curious person, so to speak, a voracious reader and a curious person, you're always going to be looking for more and more information. But in order to have the confidence in that,
you too also know, what lane that you stay in, what your strengths are, and maybe how to, like you've mentioned, and you've been able to do very, very well, is understand like how other people can kind of complement what it is that you're doing, not necessarily threaten, but build so that you guys can reach a goal.
Exactly right. I mean, and without that, I think it's really hard, because that's part of why people don't, take on this new venture or start a business or whatever it is, because there's always an excuse, right? There's always, it's not enough. It's not a good time. I don't have enough money. I don't have the right people. Most importantly, I always just hear like, it's not the right timing. It's not the right timing, but it's never going to be perfect timing. So you have to believe that you'll make it happen regardless of whether it's quote good timing or quote bad timing.
Right. And it's never a good time to really start a business. But it's funny, when I looked at a lot of the, I was doing some research, like I graduated during the economic crisis, which was interesting, but I read a lot, financially, and I saw that it was funny enough, a lot of the most successful Fortune 500 companies were actually started during that economic crisis. So it's funny that, a lot of people say it's not the right time, but often some of the most successful businesses or people actually started during what are quote unquote bad times.
100%. And you even see it in real estate as well. Oftentimes people say that, it's not a good time to buy during the holidays because people are busy, right? Like you don't want to move during, or start packing up during Thanksgiving and then move during Christmas and New Year's, right? Mm-hmm. So you'll see often that some people, if they're selling a property, they'll even take it off the market and then put it back on in the spring the following year. And with buyer clients that I've had, and my family also has done this as well, I've seen this from personal experience, the savvy buyers buy during the holidays because they know that inventory is going to be lower. But as a result, the people who do still have their houses out on the market during that time have to sell. Like if these sellers could take it off the market, they would. But many of them have to sell for, whether it's tax reasons or whatever it is, but it has to be done by the end of year. And so oftentimes you'll get some of the best deals of the year and you'll close on them during the holidays because there's just not a lot of people out buying at that time. And the ones that are out buying generally are the serious buyers.
Right. No, that's an awesome CEO nugget right there. And I think I've heard a lot of, I read a lot about, Warren Buffett and people like that. And they're always talking about, buying when I guess demand is not the highest, which is what a lot of people do, but demand when demand is lowest. So it might be, like you mentioned, during the holidays or during a time where, the market might be slower and there might be less opportunities, it appears. But often those people that are able to kind of swoop in and get deals that you may not get in the spring, so to speak.
Correct. Exactly.
Awesome. And one of the really cool things that we get to do on this podcast is I get the opportunity to kind of speak with people, from different walks of life, different CEOs, so to speak. So it might be somebody that's starting a nonprofit or somebody that's, juggling multiple ventures, or a CEO of a Fortune 500 company that has, thousands and thousands of people that work under him or her. So what I wanted to ask for you very specifically, what do you think that being a CEO means to you? How would you define that?
For me, being a CEO means that you're a leader and that you are helping lead and guide a team of people, because it can't be done with just me. I'm definitely not a one-woman show. I have amazing partners. I have amazing operational staff that works hand in hand with me. And I absolutely would not be where I am today without all those other individuals. Collectively, we make a team. And so I think you as a CEO, you have to understand and realize that it's not about you being the face and you being the center of attention. It's about you leading the team by example and getting in there and being willing to do the roles and responsibilities for anyone on your team. So if someone has a role that includes, cleaning up, you have to be willing to do that if it's necessary, and just lead by example.
Awesome. Well, I truly appreciate you again for taking time out of your schedule, Lisa, and giving us so many great words of wisdom. What I wanted to do was just kind of ask you if there's anything additional you want to let our readers and our listeners know. And then on the second part is if people want to get a hold of you, what's the best way for them to do that?
Absolutely. Well, first, thank you so much for having me. I very much appreciate it. And I just want to encourage everyone to, just give it a try. Just do it. And you'll be shocked at the outcome, because that's the very, very first step in anything is action, right? And you can find me on my website at lisasong.com and also on all the social channels, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, at Lisa Song Sutton.
Awesome. Well, thank you again, Lisa. And we'll make sure to have all those links in the show notes just in case anybody wants to click through and follow you or see all the great things that you're doing. But again, appreciate you and appreciate all the great things you're doing.
Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day.